Hello Virgo, great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast for November 2025. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Virgo. Into this reading, I just want to preface this. I feel like it's going to be a very good month, but you're going to be extremely busy, okay? I feel like many of you are wrapping up new projects so you can start something else. Wrapping up loose ends. So I do see a lot of you working late nights, planning something, planning events even, or even wrapping up like projects, wrapping up, loose ends so that you can go into something or transition into something new. So the energy is very good for new starts, okay? However, a lot of the times too, I feel like with you guys, whenever you do something, you do things to the best of your capabilities. And you're very good at double checking, triple checking your work. And you don't want the responsibility mistake. That's on me. That's on my credibility at work. That's on my that's like kind of like a stain on my ability to perform or my performance. And so you're very hard on yourself in that regard. And I do feel like, as responsible as you are, you always wrap up things to the best of your capabilities rather than handing off, frayed ends and like difficult cases or difficult projects to another person, because you don't want to be a burden to the next person. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure that you're putting on yourself, and there's a lot of pressure that I'm sensing, like, there's expectations coming through from the environment, but more than anything, the expectation and the pressure is like self-imposed, okay? Wanting things to be wrapped up neatly, wanting things to be perfect, wanting to not have any loose ends, any fray threads, hanging loose. And so I do feel in that regard, ease up a little bit, okay? Don't put that unnecessary pressure on yourself, because you have a lot of blessings that are coming through. Month is about coasting. Does that make sense? So I feel like if the energy is very much about, slow transitions and a lot of coasting, like riding the wave back to shore, back to calmer waters, and instead of just riding the wave and letting things be, I feel almost like you're fighting against the tides. You want these things wrapped up. You want that over there wrapped up. And so take it easy for this month, okay? Everything is going to work out well. And so no matter how much you obsess over things, no matter how much you go over the details, no matter how much you try to, I guess, no matter how much you try to, comb things through with a fine-tooth comb, it's going to be fine. It's just going to be fine. So I feel like the reassurance here, or the spiritual message for you guys, is pretty much just taking it easy. All right. So when I was shuffling out the spread for you, I saw a scene. It looks like Mongolia, okay? And the reason why I say this is it looks like the Mongolian steppes, and you have like this little girl. She's not little, she's actually like a teenager. She's wearing like the really colorful tribal clothes, and she has a falcon on her hand, okay? So a falconer steps, and she's on top of this hill. There's like wind blowing. The grass is swaying and moving a little bit. And I see her looking towards the horizon. Okay, and she's looking towards like the sun that is still in the sky. On the horizon, there's like another big hill, and then a lot of trees dotted along the horizon. And so she's looking out into the horizon. She has this bird on her hand. She launches the bird, and then the bird like takes off flying into the direction that she launched it. And so it's like a few minutes later, the bird kind of comes back to her, lands on her wrist, and there's like something in its mouth. okay? Like a seed or something. And I couldn't tell what it was, but like it looked like a brown seed. It looks like a pod, or it looks like something, just something. So basically, when I got this image, I was thinking about like scouting, scouting to see what's on the horizon. Testing the waters a little bit, making sure, like, sending out your scouts so that they can retrieve information and bring it back to you. Or I feel like for many of you, you are physically doing this action to kind of like go ahead and see if it's safe further afield for you to venture into. Okay, so the scene is really, I feel like it's very empowering, because here's this young girl capable of taking care of herself. Like I see her alone. She's, there by herself. She's using the resources in her environment that are available at her disposal in order to, get to know what's ahead of her. Okay. And then the whole concept about looking on the horizon and trying to figure out what's over there. A lot of it has to do also, the spiritual message is like fortune telling, right? It's like seeking advice, seeking knowledge, seeking expertise from somebody who already has either been there and then came back and given you some solid piece of information, like a seed, okay? Like a seed has a lot of potential to grow. Or like even picking the brains of somebody that has already been there, done that, and then extracting the knowledge for yourself so that when you cross that bridge and get to, whatever location it is on that horizon, then you know exactly what to do. So it's more about, I feel like, once again, I feel like you're working really hard and you're doing like probably a lot of, I'm sensing like brand new things, okay? And they're really telling you, don't reinvent the wheels, okay? Build on existing knowledge. Ask for other people's opinion. Ask for the trusted if you have a trusted confidant at work, you definitely can ask them, like, about their experience. That way you don't have to reinvent the wheels. That way you don't have to do all this extra research, because you have people that can, you can retrieve knowledge from and information from, okay? And the information and the knowledge and expertise they're giving you is kind of like containing that seed. It's that seed of knowledge or that seed of potential. And I feel like in the long run, it's going to save you a lot more time. And then also in the long run, it's a lot more dependable, okay? Because it's like, primary source of information, like someone who's already been there, done that. Does that make sense? Rather than going through like doing the research from the ground up from scholars that might be in their ivory tower and they haven't really experienced it. So I hope that makes sense. So I feel like in some capacity, they're telling you here, work smart rather than work hard. Don't reinvent the wheels, okay? Don't create unnecessary work for yourself. And a lot of the times too, Virgos, we have a sense of, I feel like Virgoing people, you have a sense of skepticism as well about the work that other people produce, okay? Because once again, you have a really keen eye for detail. And if the information is coming from somebody that you're familiar with, and you know their work, and you know their work ethics, and you know their capabilities and their skill sets, then you can really trust what they're saying. But if it's just handed to you from an unknown source, I feel like you have trouble trusting it too. And that's why you would rather go through take the time and do the preliminary research for yourself from the ground up, because you trust yourself a lot more than you would trust other people. And so I feel like for this month here, they're saying there's wise advice and wisdom coming from confidants, coming from primary sources. And you can save yourself a lot of time. You can cut corners and save yourself a lot of time and end up with more meaningful information. Okay? All right, so let me talk about the cards here. You have some amazing cards, okay? So first of all, I'm looking at the cards like this. That's what it feels like to me. So let me just read them the way that they kind of resonate with me. We have here the World and the Traveler. Okay, brand new starts here. The World is pretty much opportunities galore. It's like all the avenues that might have been blocked in the past, they are finally making themselves available to you. Okay, that promotion that was, somebody, it's like there might have been a job and you were eyeing that job, but there's always somebody occupying that job. Potentially they're retiring and now that job is open. Okay, so kind of like that, doors opening, opportunities opening, roads like just like unrolling, kind of like ahead of you. So if you feel like you've been in a rut for quite some time when it comes to your life, your work, relationships, even professional life, I'm seeing a lot. I feel like a lot of doors are opening, okay? And I feel like you don't even need to lift a finger. The doors are opening because the time is right. And the time is right because you are operating from this space where you have been trying to manifest something brand new, okay? We have here the Traveler. This is the Fool. You have been trying to manifest something brand new. You have already mastered whatever it was that you were doing. You have already mastered it. And now, Virgos, you're finally brave enough to take this leap of faith over this cliff and try to get onto the other side. And I feel like because you are doing your due diligence and because you are also stepping out of your comfort zone, the universe is reciprocating. Okay, you've been wanting new energies for a very, very long time. And I feel like they're saying this is the year for you. This is where things are really going to start to take off. Okay. In tandem, we have as well the Nine of Crystals. So this is the Nine of Pentacles. And we have here the Ten of Wands. And this is what I meant about, working smart rather than working hard. You're very good at working hard. You're very, very good at that. No one will, deny that, okay? But in the spirit of saving time, in the spirit of kind of like upping your game a little bit, okay? Upping your game a little bit. We need to be a little bit smart about how we're working. Okay, so for example, let me just say this. I feel like some of you who might be watching this, okay? You might be a paralegal right now, and you might be, trying to pass the bar exam, for example, okay? And so what I'm feeling is, you're like pouring over volumes of books on case laws, on legal precedents and things like that. And it's very dry and very uninspiring, and you're, trying to memorize and trying to cram. When in fact, they're saying, look at the work that you're doing. Ask the people in your work environment. Ask the people, look at the real life cases. Those are a lot more nuanced and they're a lot more juicy. They're a lot more exciting. And if you look at those cases, the information is going to come alive. And so you don't have to cram. You don't have to, try to memorize in such a dry way. So it's about working smart rather than working hard. So the spider here, okay, and the spider, they weave their web, okay, and a lot of the times it gets destroyed, right? Humans like come in and shake them away, or insects or whatever animal that runs through the forest. They knock it down, and then the spider diligently, goes back out, possibly at night, weaves a new web, and just waits for the prey to kind of like land on that web. Okay, so this is like working a lot, doing a lot of things in a repetitive way. But it also indicates to me a lot of financial abundance, okay? A lot of financial security, a lot of financial abundance, a lot of self-sufficiency. So spiders are very solitary creatures. And I feel like, everyone's got their own web and everyone minds their own business and everyone pretty much lives for themselves. And so what I'm feeling is, you've worked really hard to build up this foundation for yourself where you're self-sufficient. You don't want to ask for help. You feel like asking for help might be seen a little bit as a weakness, or even like asking for help is like, oh, I couldn't finish it. And it's it's a reflection of my work ethics or my skill set when I can't do something and I have to ask other people for help. And I feel as if you feel like in this environment, you feel almost like you're working twice as hard and other people are just coasting. And you might feel like there might be some imbalance associated with that. Okay? This is the Ten of Wands here. And the way that it's depicted in this card, we have here this horse. And, horses are draft animals. They can carry a lot of weight and they can, transport people, objects, carry, like pull a wagon. And so I feel like this is like the workhorse, literally the workhorse. This is somebody that other people depend on, and other people often take for granted. Other people often dump responsibilities on. And this is an animal that doesn't complain either. Okay, so I feel as if there are definitely, and I've been seeing this for a lot of Virgos. There are a lot of definitely a lot of things here where you kind of need to draw the line. You kind of need to be a little bit crafty about how you can tell people to back off and, give you your time and respect your space, and at the same time to kind of like take care of themselves, like learn to be self-sufficient. It took you a lifetime to learn to be self-sufficient. Why can't they do that themselves? So I feel like, you might feel like it's not fair. You might feel like it's your responsibility now, or it's like falls on you, or it's incumbent upon you to pick up the burden for other people. And I feel like in a way that's not very fair. And I feel that in the past you might have been very much about boundaries. You have drawn your line in the sand, demarcate where you would chip in and where you will not, because I feel like your energy is a lot more free. This is like saying no to people and not feeling guilty, Virgo. Telling people, you know what, I only have 5 minutes and I need to, use the restroom. I can't help you. I'm sorry. Things like that. And doing it in a way where you don't have to feel bad about it. You're not guilt-ridden over not being able to help somebody. You're not guilt-ridden over like not bending over backwards for another person when in fact they are clearly capable. And so I do sense there's a lot of like shedding away the mental and emotional baggage. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that you've been working for other people, serving other people, helping other people, a lot of people. And I do sense like you do it because, you care about the people, right? But at the same time, you start to understand how that drains your energy, how that depletes you, how that disallows you from doing things that you want, how that really cuts into your time, how that really, kind of like sidetrack your plans, and how that really affects your emotional well-being. And so we're coming from this space where we have like, the deep dive in emotion, where we might feel guilty if we have to say no to people, where we might feel like, oh, well, I have like an extra 5 minutes, I can help that coworker, I can help that boss, I can help that person, and things like that. And I feel like you do take a lot upon yourself. And this is the month where we need to kind of like do us, focus on what we need, and not let other people's problems emotionally burden you. Okay? Learning to say no and feeling like you don't need to be apologetic for it. So this is really nice, crisp, refreshing energy. You're leaping towards the future of your life, okay? So what is coming through, I feel for many of you, there's a lot of movement and travel here. Okay? And this is like seeing the world, traveling to another country, learning about another country, meeting people from different cultural, linguistic backgrounds, meeting people who are very, I also feel like, people who are like major players in their field, like being amongst the people who are the movers and the shakers in the world. So if you're, for example, in law, I see a lot of lawyers, paralegals, and people in the law profession. If you're in law, you might meet like a very famous judge. You might meet an attorney or somebody, a prosecutor, who's handled like a very famous case. So I feel like there's a lot of rubbing elbows with, people who are very well respected, well received in their field, in their profession. And I also feel like in some way, they could be a launching pad for your career or your professional life, okay? Not in a way where we're like using them to or ride their coattails. I feel like what they're telling you is like golden material, great advice, or even like they're opening your mind up in a way that will really streamline the work that you do, that will really make you reassess the work or the way in which you've worked in the past. And I feel like they're going to shed some light into your life about working smart rather than working hard, okay? So you have some great new awakening here, as well as revelations, as well as, a lot of help and guidance, physical help and guidance coming through from other people. And this is great. Okay, so I feel like many of you are traveling. So I'm seeing here clearing up some time in order to travel. I'm seeing here the Traveler and the Two of Cups. This is the Two of Cups. It's the dove. It's really sweet. I feel like for some of you, this is like traveling for your honeymoon. Traveling as a couple, traveling for Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day in the US. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of, it's a very nice romantic vibe, especially for coupled people. I feel like someone is really going to make this a very memorable month for you when it comes to love and relationships. And some of you could be getting married, getting engaged, getting like taking your honeymoon, traveling to see the world, taking a cruise even. I'm feeling, and it's going to be really like I'm hearing breathtaking sights. Okay, so if like it's a cruise, it's going to be very refreshing, very the scenery is going to be quite beautiful. Okay, so I'm seeing that, and I'm really happy to see this for you. So there's a major transformation here. We have the cicada and the Two of Shells. So this is about transformation in a love relationship. Okay, transformation in a love relationship. And what I'm sensing is for many of you, there could be like upping the ante, taking the relationship to the next level, meeting somebody that you can really get along with, or like having that sense of coming together between you and another person. So I feel as if you have been single, there's a little bit like Nine of Crystals, the Nine of Pentacles is the single lady card, right? You could be male or female watching this, okay? It wouldn't matter. It's like if you have been single, I feel like there's a transformation when it comes to your relationship. Okay? Even like taking the relationship to the next level. I'm hearing, and this is like posting on social media, changing relationship status, or posting pictures together for the very first time. So you might have been in a relationship but never advertised it. And now you're coming public with the relationship because I feel that you're serious about this person. You know where you stand with them. They likewise are very serious with you. And so you feel that it's safe and it's stable enough to bring it out into the open, to show off this person, to be with this person, and to, have the two of you recognized as a couple. I feel like for many of you, it's a big step for you to trust in the stability of a relationship. And they're also, you guys, I feel like are also very, very private overall when it comes to, your romantic life. Unless you have like very strong Leo placements in your chart. I feel like with Virgos, everything is very subdued. The relationship is very private and you like to keep it very private. And as a result of this, I feel like this is like serious escalation in a love relationship in some capacity, because now you're kind of like seen in public with this person, making things public, okay, making a public announcement. And there will be a lot of people looking on. And I feel as well, there's something here that indicates to me two people who are a very, very good, solid match for each other. The Two of Cups is about, friendship and harmony. It's two people who might be very similar. Okay, like same cultural background. It doesn't always have to be, but like same upbringing, same cultural background. Even if you are like racially different, I feel like there's something about your family that's very similar to their family. So, for example, if you come from like a single parent household, they might also come from a single parent household. If you know you've gone to like private school your whole life, they might have also gone to private school. If you went to law school, they might have gone to law school. So there's something very similar about the two of you, either culturally or maybe like even your upbringing or just your ideologies. This is like two people who really get along, who agree on a lot of things, and as a result of it, the relationship flows very smoothly, and there's not a lot of conflict and confrontation and childish games and things like that. It's a very enlightened relationship where two people really care about each other and they're willing to put each other first. Okay, so this is really positive energy. So you've been trying to manifest, I feel, financial stability and a happy home life for quite some time. What we have here is the Ten of Pentacles, okay? And I want to talk about this card a little bit because when I saw this, I was thinking immediately, like there was a drought, okay? So the Ten of Pentacles is about property, like a physical dwelling, a house. It's about family. It's about financial stability, the foundation for everything that life builds upon. So I feel like for many of you, you've been shying away from relationships. Not all of you, but I feel like for the majority of you, there is a shying away from a relationship. And I feel a lot of it has to do with whether or not you believe that relationships can work, whether or not you believe that marriage, for example, is long lasting, whether or not you believe that somebody could be, that we could be committed to and in love with somebody for life. Okay, so the whole concept of like till life do us or till death do us part, the whole concept about living and sharing your space with another person and getting along with the other person. And even though you might nitpick at whatever they do, you still, at the end of the day, really, really love them and really care about them as a person and will do right by them. And so the whole concept about, happily ever after, about moving in together, buying property, and having a marriage that will withstand the test of time. All of it has been very daunting and very, very scary. And let me just say this. I feel for many of you, you might have come from like broken homes. Okay, there might have been infidelity with mom and dad. There might have been like growing up in a single parent household where things have been hard. Okay, and so things might have been very financially hard, and your parents, might have been not emotionally available because they were working all the time. And I feel like everything that you have done, Virgos, you've had to do it on your own. And what I mean by this is like you might look at, a colleague of yours and they come from like, a very stable home environment, a very stable like upbringing. Dad's a lawyer, mom's a doctor, and so they have, really intelligent parents who are college educated, who have like years and years of schooling. And their parents not only served as like their mentor, but their parents had the financial stability to, put them through school without student loans, for example. Okay? And I feel as if in your life, Virgos, everything that you have right now, you have had to work really hard for. Okay? Mom and dad didn't give you that car when you graduated from college, right? Mom and dad didn't pay for the college tuition. You've had to get out into the world, find a job, pay your student loans. And then mom and dad, if they were, like blue collar laborers, for example, they couldn't give you the guidance, the expertise when it comes to college admissions, taking the SATs, which is like a college exam. You take that when you're in secondary school, for those who are not familiar. You take that exam for secondary school so that you can score high enough, and then the colleges will accept you. So it's like an entrance exam just to see at a baseline level where you are and whether or not you're desirable for a college. So I feel like you've had to meander and figure out these things for yourself. Nobody helped you. Things just, were not handed to you on a silver platter. You've had to do the preliminary research. You've had to figure everything out on your own. And I feel as if for many of you, you're looking at your life, okay? Everything that you've had to do based on your upbringing, based on everything that, that has happened to you. And then you're looking at your colleague's life, that same colleague who came from a really, really stable home environment. And now you're realizing, wait a minute, we're on the same level. Or even, I'm surpassing that person. Because, hardship builds character. Okay? And so I feel like a lot of the times the universe gives us challenges to strengthen us, okay? Because we're meant for a lot more. And what I feel here is, once again, another confirmation for you that every night you're out there spinning that web, setting your life up a certain way, making sure that the next day that web is set up, an insect is going to fly to it, and then you're going to have your meal and you're not going to starve. Like all this planning, all this preparatory work, there's a purpose for it, okay? Because I feel like you're being groomed, you're being prepped for something a lot more in your future. And so whatever work that you've had to do, it might feel tedious, it might feel very challenging, it might feel hard. And you felt like it's not fair sometimes that other people get the free ride or get to coast. Okay? But Virgos, you're never resentful of other people. And you look at them and you're glad that, they've never had to struggle the way you have. But what I feel here is life is prepping you for a lot more, okay? And you have surpassed that colleague that has had everything handed to them on a silver platter, because whatever challenges you've had to face, whatever thing you had to do, reinvent the wheel every single time, that person didn't have to do it. And so I feel like when it comes to, being in a space of scarcity, you wouldn't buckle under the pressure. You know how to be resourceful. You know how to be, I want to say, like, ingenious when it comes to the things that you have to do, whereas the other person might not have the survival skills, okay? So once again, that scene on the Mongolian steppes, it's about that girl she's young, but she's very resourceful. She's using the animals in her environment in order to, scout out new territory. Okay, so I feel that it is all about survival instincts. It is all about being resourceful. It is all about, at the same time, having like good situational awareness, being trained, being groomed for a specific skill. And because you've worked really hard to hone all these skills, all of it is going to be necessary for you to bring into your future, because you're meant for a lot more. And I feel like the message that keeps reverberating is you're meant for a lot more. So, don't shy away from this challenge. Don't give up, because good things are coming through, okay? So once again, let me take you back to this drought, okay? So because of everything you've been through, life might have felt like, it's all come back to this drought barren land. So the water is collecting in puddles. All the animals are coming out to graze. All the animals are coming to the watering hole. Okay, so there's enough water, there's enough vegetation that's going to be coming into the future for you guys. And so I feel like if we are reading this, and then I feel as well the springtime, the wellspring is kind of like bubbling up to the surface. and there's vegetation again. So we're no longer dealing with that space of drought. We're no longer dealing with scarcity. We're no longer dealing with this, lack mentality. Because now, not only are you financially abundant, but you're coming into your sense of, everything that I've been through has taught me so much. And now I feel for many of you, you might feel a little bit invincible. You might feel like, oh, I've done that in the past, give me something else, give me something harder. So I do sense that you're welcoming new challenges, you're welcoming new opportunities, you're leaping towards something that might be outside of your scope of comfort, but you're welcoming it in because you know it's a chance for you to grow. Okay, so there has been a lot of manifesting so that you can grow to your full potential. This is the Magician. And every time I see this card, the cawing that the crows make, the cawing sound, it seems like it's saying to me, calling, manifesting, calling something in, conjuring something out of nothing, and drawing something closer to you, because once again, you are operating in a space where it's like the wellspring. Things are going to be coming to life. The vegetation is returning. The ground is, soaking up the rainwater and allowing everything to grow and allow that abundance to fill the land, okay? So finances are looking very, very good for you. And I feel like the financial situation is really allowing you, to, I guess, like, to really finally have a lot of confidence in yourself. So a lot of people respond differently, right? So for like an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, in order for them to feel confident about themselves, if somebody tells them, wait a minute, that was a really good idea you came up with the other day, they would beam with pride, with so much joy and pride, because somebody is complimenting them on their intelligence, right? They would be so happy. And I feel like for a water sign, if you make that emotional connection with them, like, thank you so much for, your kindness. Thank you so much for, being there when I needed you. They would beam and glow with pride. But I feel like for you guys, it's like, I need to see it first before I believe it. Okay? People tell me I'm good, but I need to see it before I believe it. And so when those pentacles stack up, when you have that house, that car, that job title, that corner office, when you have these physical things, not that you care so much about these physical things, but these are physical manifestations. These are like tangible things that you can trust in to let you know that, you're really